Welcome back. We're going to apply a different method to correct this photo. One thing that I've learned with Photoshop is that there are so many ways of fixing a photo that if you get frustrated with one way, just try a different way and you might find some great luck. This picture actually has two more options that I know of that you can fix this photo. Let's try curves. We have our curves here. So basically what I would do is use the old method of going into the red channel, press Alt, and then move it to where I start to see some clipping. And then go over here and then choose the green channel, Alt, and move it where you start to see some clipping. And then move the highlight in where you start to see some clipping. There you go. And then we're going to try the blue. I don't think the blue is going to be pretty much. Oh, there is some blue. Okay, that's fine. And then move this in a little bit more. Okay, look at that. So then we go to our RGB and let's look at the before and after. Before, after, before, and after. So as we can see here with the curves, by going into the individual channels that we did in levels, we fixed the photo and made it a little bit better. Now, is this photo right? Well, I would actually add probably another curves layer. And then look at the contrast. So I would pick these, not this one, this one, this one. Pick this one and see what happened. Obviously, that's not going to happen. No. Okay, maybe linear contrast is nice. Make sure there's no color shift, so I probably would change that to luminosity. Okay, but I still see it's a little bit brighter in this area. So what you could do is, unfortunately, you could actually add another curves layer and maybe bring it down a little bit more. Okay, and then you could invert by pressing Control I, change it to black, which means it removes what you've just done. Then you can go over to your paintbrush, paint on white in a low opacity over this area to bring back some detail. All right. Okay, so let me just close the adjustments panel here and show you. We had our background. We went to the first curves. We adjusted each individual channel. We then applied an S curve. Excuse me, I probably haven't talked about that, or I have, but an S curve increases contrast. I did in the last lesson. Sorry about that. This is a very slight S curve. I'm just using the command they already have. And then I said, okay, well, let me darken this area, darken the whole photo. Flip the mask to hide it, and then paint in the areas that I want to bring back the detail, the darken areas of the photo, and I've done that. And then if you want to, you can actually go after this and then add a vibrance layer if you want, and then see if you want to increase the vibrance a little to bring back some of the color. Now, we've done this with 1, 2, 3, 4 layers, just this one image. Another way of doing it, just real quickly, is let me just get rid of these areas. Well, actually, let me select the first layer, shift click this. Then I'm going to choose my flyout options and I'm going to say new group from layers, and we'll call it curves. Okay, and then this way I'll turn it off, and then we'll apply, which I'm going to introduce you to real quick here, is the photo filter. Photo filter is interesting. Photo filter, you can use it to correct a color cast, and I learned this but reading a Katrine book, so it was very helpful. So what you do is you just click on color. Then you click on this chiclet here, and you select a color in here. Do you think is the color cast? It's kind of what you think is the color cast. So I'm going to choose, let's say, the floor. But you'll notice here that it says white. Why did that happen? And this is going to happen to you. Trust me, it's going to happen to you. So click cancel. Make sure you select this and not the mask. Select the photo filter and not the mask. Then reopen this and choose, let's say, the floor. You'll see that it's a brown, looks like a brown color that's being applied to here. Remember, this is an estimate. You'll go over to your A and B, which you'll learn about in lab, and you'll flip the colors by adding a negative to it. And you'll click OK, and then you'll increase the density of this color, which will remove that color cast. And you can see here if I either did it right or wrong. If I did it wrong, I will go in here and choose the wall instead, and then put a negative next to A and B of lab, click OK, and then increase the density and see what happens. And you can see it's neutralizing the photo quickly, but it also seems like it's taken away the color. So you have to select a finer point, maybe here. And then here I can add a curves again, and let's try that lighter contrast. Okay. And then I can again add a vibrance to increase the color. Okay, I'm going to double click on my adjustment layer, and then I'm going to shift click, and I'm going to say new group from layers, and we'll call this photo filter. Click OK. And then we're going to have to see which one's better. So we have this one or this one. Oh, so you can see the difference, huh? Which one's better, actually? I actually would go here, and I would reduce the overall opacity of everything to make it blend in better. And there you have it. So don't get stuck with one method. There are many different methods of correcting a photo with level, with curves, and within curves and levels you can correct photo. In the next lesson, I'm going to show you another thing to apply with levels and curves. It's called the shadows and highlights.